Yo, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Trust the Process. It's day 11 and we are heading back. So this morning's weight was sitting at 68.8. If we look at the average from the start of this week to last week as well, we are up pretty much half a kilo. So for the Americans, that's roughly, I think, roughly a pound, half a kilo, 0.5 kg. But that's on the kind of higher end of what I would actually recommend anyone to be gaining throughout a week if you're natural. So roughly the lower end is 0.25, higher end is half a kilo. So that's pretty much the best rate I would actually recommend for anyone who's just looking to gain a bit of size, because you know you're not going to be putting on too much fat or fluff weight. You're pretty much going to be mainly getting a wee bit more muscle and everything coming into play. Now obviously it is going to be water weight and everything like that, but you just know it's not going to be a horrendous amount of fat when it comes to your peak bulk or when it comes to your next cut, if you just literally do a slow rate of progression. So next cut takes that wee bit shorter. But anyway, so today we're going to be heading back. Again, it's pretty similar to the last back day, I'll say. From the first video till this time last week, pretty much just highlights the importance of bodybuilding. Just literally, that is routine. Actually, the most important part about bodybuilding is routine. Staying to a structured plan, staying to a structured routine. Now your training plan doesn't need to be bang on structured. Like today I'll probably throw in a nice seated chest supported row, because the gym I'm going to, they've got about 3 or 4 different ones to choose from. I might go back to the Strive one. Again, you can limit it's probably my favourite ones because you can choose your resistance profile on it. Or I might go to we've got a nice Cybex one as well. Might try that one out. Cybex one's probably going to be a week more beneficial because it does kind of mimic the same exercise that I've already got in a plan, which is just D-handle rows with a slightly wider grip. So if you've literally not got any fancy cable equipment or fancy pin loaded equipment or anything like that, just grab a regular seated rope, like the one that's usually attached to a lat pull down or even on a cable system, and then from there get a couple D handles. If you've got a nice wee attachment that you can attach the D handles on, like on the wee loops, recommend going slightly wide, so a wee bit wider than normal if you were just to J-rig the wee clips on. Got a wee bit outside, so say like second or third one out, so your arms are just outside your lats, and then from there driving back so you get a nice wee connection. But if you're lucky enough and you've got a gym that's got the actual machines already there, then you're already set up in that nice position. But if not, you can J-rig a couple cables. You can pretty much hit this at any other gym. So it's a nice wee seated row I've got in. Also, aside from that, we've also going to be hitting the Pendlay rows. Last week went for 90 kg. I'm going to dial it back just a tad to 85 because that was a 10 kilo increase. Now 80 kilos moves really well for this movement, but I don't want to be overly swinging for this. Well, it depends how I actually feel. If I feel strong, then fuck it, we're going to run 90. But I want to try and be quite strict, because if I can get 100 kilos on the Pendlay row with strict form, I think that will be really cool. Like, that'd be really beneficial to back progress, and my back's actually coming up quite nice. So I'm not too fussed about how much weight we're shifting. I know 90 can move, but I just want to make it that wee bit cleaner before actually getting up to the hundreds. But I think 100 kilos should be moving within the next, I'll say 4 weeks, so 4 back days, which is quite crazy to say. Like, within 4 back days, 100 kilos moves, 4 weeks equals 4 back days. I've been saying to myself for the past couple of weeks, because we're going on a holiday soon, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got 4 leg days, 4 chest days, and I've got 1 week pretty much full on training, which is still like, you know, 5 weeks, but like 1 week full on training without a rest day in between. So we'll see how the body responds from there. Might have to have a deload session, for example, for like one of the back days, because we've got 2 back days a week. But chest, shoulders, everything like that should be very, very nice. Legs, that leg session we had this week, pretty much nothing bad happened to the hamstring. It was just a wee mini niggle, but I surpassed it, went past it, played it safe, which I recommend everyone doing, especially from that day. I didn't have that much salt in me. I've had probably about 1 gram of salt and about 1 litre of water, or maybe even 1.5 litres at most, rather than like 3 litres of water before like a heavy leg day, everything like that. But today we've got 2 litres of water in us, a gram of salt, 1 meal which roughly came up to about 70 odd grams of carbs, about 20 grams of fat, about 70 grams carbs, 12 grams of fat, sorry, then about 32-ish grams of protein, just from protein powder. So that's just oats, dates, protein powder, and also some blueberries. It's actually pretty nice, and a wee bit of dark chocolate for the fats. So, aye. Anyway, I'm feeling good. I was a wee bit tired this morning. It is 7 in the morning. Woke up quite early, just pretty much due to hunger. Even though I'm in a gaining phase, I'm still trying to keep that hunger up, essentially. I don't want to be eating to be absolutely full, because all that's going to do is result in gaining excess weight that I don't need. Especially that I've got, and this is cliche, but this is pretty much everyone, I would say. Got a couple of holidays coming up. One of them is going to be Croatia, which is Terminal V. Big massive festival. I don't want to be feeling good when I'm there. I don't want to be like going from being lean, like pretty lean 6 weeks ago, to then absolutely beached whale when I'm on holiday, when I'm actually got the shirt off. So I actually want to be decent nick, I'll say, and actually feel confident. But aye, that's going to be, time will tell, and we will hopefully be looking sick by then. And then hopefully bros will also be at 110, 120 kilos, something like that. That is maybe chef's kiss. But aye, that's mid-July time, but for now it's May, and we got some shit to do. So that's enough talk. I'll see you guys at the gym. No influence. First time 26, now we just solved it. That was 86, this one's 68, so it's fun numbers now. Right, so similar as last week. I said I was going to hit the side back to the side. I was feeling this one after me. That's still pretty good. So middle of 6 to 8 minutes. Tiny under there. So this last week we kind of used that extra leg drive. Like you say, Ben, keep the work right, just drive back. Just keep that swing. challenging. We're going to try and limit that. Just try to stay as upright as possible. It's kind of difficult with super chest support. But it's not horrible. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it exact same. That's it. Back, that's great. There was a great thing, but So, that's a decent back day, can't lie. So again, this morning's weight is sitting at, what is it, 68.7 I think? 68.6 or 68.7. Not too sure, but either way, or maybe 68.8, either way. Hopefully results are fucking decent bump. So, very good session there. Pendlay rows moved quite well. Very happy with them. Increase for the lat pull down. Kept the same weight for the seated row, but just literally slowed it down a wee bit. But let's see how the results. And that Watson T-bar row just keeps feeling better and better, can't lie. Only been using it for the past 4 or 5 weeks since the gym got it. And if your gym's got it, 100% recommend. But again, it is not what built my back, but it will be what builds my back this this off season, I guess. This off season, yeah. What pretty much built my back was pretty much Yates rows that I done last off season. So, last one, most muscular, just for fun. No, let's try a front last spread actually, see what we're working with. Hopefully the Christmas trees are looking pretty nice. But yeah, decent session there. The only thing that never got recorded was the single arm rear delts, which is just literally on a cable, arm out in front, and then it's literally abducting to the side, we pause, and again all the way back in. But rear delts actually coming through quite well. Shoulders are coming through. Generally only doing lateral raises right now. No proper shoulder press or upright rows, but again, that's what I do preach that built my shoulders is upright rows and heavy shoulder press. Heavy upright rows, heavy shoulder press. What pretty much built the shoulders. But yeah, all there is to do now is standing calf raises. Starting the session off with ab crunch, just as always. Hopefully we can get abs. One thing I've neglected for years is ab training. Done hanging leg raises, but kind of just half-assed them, or got figure eights when all out failure, but it was always at the end of the session. So some days be motivated to hit them, some days not. But even just standing shots, well, that's looking pretty cool. But not much to do now, but standing calf raise, easy enough. I won't record them. Get us back in the car. Sweet. We are rolling. So, we just finished back there. That was a very, very good session. My hair is, who cares? Had a hat on. But we just finished back there. That was a very, very nice session, I will say. Slight deload on the Pendlay rows, which is alright. It's only by 5 kilos, which is 2.5 kg each side. That's, I think, £10 in American weight. I think for every kilo is like £2 or something. So that was 85 total. 90 kg moved last week for 5. Very happy with that top set that we got moving today. And then we'll just literally run it back next week, which should be ideal. Again at 85, and then slowly but surely up at 90, and then before we know it, we're moving 100. The Watson T-bars, they are getting on really well. I've just been spamming the exact same machine. Luckily the two Limitlesses, so I train at Limitless, the two gyms both have the exact same Watson T-bar, and the gym I trained at yesterday actually has the Watson T-bar as well, so I think I'm going to hit the next posterior session there, just because it's a wee bit quieter, to be fair. Yesterday's footage has actually been corrupted. It was a shoulder and arm day, so I was not really missing out that much. Literally just spamming a good amount of lateral raises. If you compare it to the last shoulder and arm day, the lateral raises were slightly lighter, just lighter seated ones rather than hefty standing ones with a wee bit of swing. I like just mixing up every other session, just because it can get boring or tedious just literally spamming the exact same weight for lateral raises. But I mean, if we get really strong, we can literally do seated ones at about 20 odd kilos, which should be pretty cool. But right now, 18s, 16s, 18s, 15s, whatever the fuck it was, 15 kg. Some gyms are like 2 kilo drop, so some are 16s, some are 18s. For example, I've been trained down at my workplace, which is Pure Gym right now. That'll be 16 kg that I'll be using for lateral raises. But down at Dedicated, which I trained at yesterday, that was 15 kg. So we just done seated ones, back supported, everything like that. So that's actually a nice one to do. If I do it at Limitless, the seat's at a wee angle, so it's quite uncomfortable. So all I do is lay the bench out flat, sit on it sideways essentially. So not like straddling it, but like sit on it sideways, you know what I mean? And then from there, feet are planted on the floor, no incline on the seat, but just literally get a wee bit going. Still adding that wee bit of swing, just a wee bit of momentum to get it up, because it helped build my shoulders anyway. I don't really need to do the whole lighter squeezing ones. That's what I do for the cables, so like the cable ones or the Panata one, for example. Single arm ones, lighter squeezing ones, and then dumbbells. As long as you still feel the burn, still feel it pumped, just fucking go ham on it. As long as you're not pulling anything, your form's not 100% whack, if you're still feeling it, just run it. That's the best way I'll say. And I feel like I can say that because I've got decent shoulders. But aye, that's not what built my shoulders, as I keep saying. Heavy shoulder press and upright rows is what I'll take to the grave that built my shoulders. Also just spamming rear delts, because in my opinion everyone's rear delts are lacking. So it won't hurt to just get them, keep them going. So literally even every other session you can put a wee bit of rear delts in. They recover quite easy, but for rear delts, if your shoulders are lacking, especially from the side, spam a wee bit more of your rear delts. Front delts get hit enough from pressing, to be fair, but again, if you're just a beginner, there's no harm in doing front raises. Just grab a 10 kilo plate, so a 20 pound plate, and just raising it up. Add a wee twist if you want to make it a wee bit more challenging, get a wee more stimulus, but from there you will get a decent shoulder pump. That's what I always used to do. I always just done shoulder press into front raise, lateral raises, upright rows, and then rear delt flies. Literally hit every single movement. If I didn't do upright rows, I just done shrugs. So that's pretty much the heavier movements. Decent. But aye, even that back day isn't what built my back. Done Yates rows my last off season. Now we're trying to get a wee bit more refined with pendlay rows. So massive drop in weight. For Yates rows it was roughly like 150 kg, 150, 160, which I think in pounds that'll be 320 pounds, something like that. 150 Yeah, if 150 would be 100 odd, not 300, sorry. So yeah, about 320 pounds. Pounds, or 150, 160 in kilos. So aye, that was actually decent, and that's what kind of built it back, along with heavy RDLs to get the wee bit posterior. So through the cut, working with the coach, he wanted me to run stiff leg deadlifts. Not a fan of them, so I went back to RDL. I was going to build them back up, but I've kept the pendulum rows in because I enjoy them, and it's going to be cool to get that up to. I think get up to 3 plates on a pendulum row. That is insane. Like 140 pendlies, send me up. But aye, had our post-workout meal, big old bowl of cereal, 1 wee date, and some pineapple with a scoop of protein. And now we're gonna go get a food shop, pick up some sourdough, some chicken. Here's third meal of the day. It's only 10 o'clock, but we'll be 3 meals in out of 5, and then prep our 4th meal, head to work, and then finish at about 8 o'clock-ish, and then home and make up our last meal. So aye, should be a good day. All we gotta do is go to work. Luckily I work at the gym, so we get an hour odd break, which I can just hit cardio. So that's going to be Stairmasters, and then have a meal a wee bit after that. So aye, always good. Just got to stay hydrated, and aye, rest day tomorrow. Enough said, pretty much just going to start rambling if I don't end it off now. So not much to say, but catch you on the flip.